Excuse me. You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Alright. Now that I got that bit out of the way, hey, given how people are still enjoying my look at the Scooby-Doo event from a year ago or so, I thought I'd do something similar to close up both Scooby and Bat Month once again. This time, I'll conclude with what is probably my favorite episode among the many ones I did in the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who run, which first debuted in 2019 ain't on online, and thankfully proved to be quite helpful for getting through 5 years ago when everything was happening. And it has a similar premise to the new Scooby-Doo movies, in which they visit all manner of pop culture figures, as well as characters that as fictional characters, and this is another one where they cross over with Batman. So, here are my thoughts on episode 13 of the first season. What a Night for a Dark Knight. So let's begin. So, the episode sees he's the Scooby Gang going to visit Gotham City because it turns out that in this continuity, that at the Alfred Pennyworth is actually a Daphne's uncle, so she's got quite a lot of connections, which is not entirely surprising given how most variants she's comes from quite the rich family, including the adaptations came off covering, and he ends up being kidnapped by what appears to be the man Hook Langstrom, which is even stranger given how Langstrom's still being kept under observation at Arkham, which also is in a way consistent with his character. And again, I'm not against that one being used for DCU. My first choice to play Langstrom being Zachary Quinto, personally. And naturally, even though Batman is of course hesitant to trust the gang at first, he does agree to accept their help, being mutual detectives, especially when he finds out the plan is a sting by the Joker, who is attempting to embezzle all the assets of Wayne Enterprises is funding, which also ended up being eerily prescient to like the Joker War storyline in the comics in the years of Fallout. So how about that? And of course, they managed to find the culprit and set up a trap for him in the old Gotham department store. Even before most people started doing the shopping online, and were focusing on the bigger retailers, it was already a kind of in a rough spot between all the robberies and all the corrupt business people running the place. And that was even before Catwoman blew the place up that one time as well. It is still inherently amusing to me how they managed to play along with this guy. So while it may not be the most serious story ever heard told, it does capture what is fun about both Batman and Scooby-Doo, who, much as I pointed out before, and shows how the two detective characters are able to win the day through a mixture of creative problem solving and teamwork as well, which makes sense. And it's like, even if Bats often try to face the burden alone, more than one occasion showing that he cannot truly hide inner turmoil behind a mask from loss of his parents, the other members of the League often told him he doesn't have to, and I definitely can agree with that. Especially like again in hearing, I mean, if however briefly, both Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill voicing their variants again. So, which is why even though my continual mentions of other guest stars in years past, like Mama Cass, who passed in 1975, and Sonny Bono, who passed in 1998, that as long as we remember them, no one's ever really gone. It's just like that. And of course, once they unmask the villain, then they all go back to Wayne Manor for dinner, and makes sense that someone who is not only Bruce's his most faithful companion and functionally sort of surrogate father after losing his parents, of course he'd be a great cook. I mean, not all English food is as foreign cuisine as you might think at all. In fact, it's quite the bird he's managed to get up there. Nice. So, there's indeed plenty of material I can work with for both these franchises in 2026 if I am so inclined. However, I have something else in mind, mind for Halloween nights. You might say that they're from a galaxy far, far away, hey, and you can definitely build not just a mountain, but an entire here lava castle Mustafar if you do it brick by brick. That's all for now. I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Mm.